to Wordpath, the show about Oklahoma Indian languages and the people who are teaching and preserving them. Tonight we'll see part 3 of highlights from the Wordpath Society's recent celebration of Oklahoma Indian language and culture, which was held last October 18th in Norman. Our presenters tonight are the famous Kingfisher family of Tahlequah, who will sing gospel songs in Cherokee.
Hello everyone. I know what y'all agree. We're glad to be here this evening and be part of this celebration. And let's sing critical numbers and we've got some kids with us and they'll be singing also. Here's another Cherokee song. Usually, this is my wife, Betty, and she has been for some years. And my name is Jack, and this is Nicholas, and it's I've been tricky. That's Peter, and this is Shannon. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
Aren't they great? It's especially good to see the little kids doing this Cherokee singing. We've seen the Kingfisher family once before on the Wordpath show, by the way. They were performing outdoors at a Ross Mountain gathering as part of our Ross Mountain Hog Fry documentary. Gospel singing, like playing marbles and horseshoes and cooking big old hog, are a big part of a lot of important community gatherings back in Cherokee country. I first heard the Kingfishers at the Cherokee Heritage Center in Tahlequah. They were performing there as part of a big gospel sing that they have every year. I believe it was in the summer. And they're very well known in Cherokee country. They're a lot of people's favorites, including my own. We'll see presentations, more presentations from the Wordpath's 5th annual celebration of Oklahoma Indian language and culture on upcoming shows. Now for the week at Wordpath, where I just talk about some things that have come up during the last week at the Wordpath Society. One interesting thing, not directly a language item maybe, but I think it'll interest a lot of our viewers. Vine Deloria is going to be in Tulsa at the City County Library Saturday, March 1st at 11 a.m. For more information on this, you should call the Tulsa City County Library, 918-596-7398. He's the well-known author of God is Red, Red Earth, White Lies, and many other books. While in town, he's going to be taped for Writing Out Loud, which is a program on Channel 13 in the central Oklahoma area, in other words, on OETA. And it airs here Mondays at 10 p.m., I believe, on Channel 13, so you can perhaps see him there if you're not able to get up to Tulsa. On the subject of speaking in Tulsa, yours truly, will be speaking at the same place, the Tulsa City County Library, on Thursday, March 20th. I don't know the exact hour, but it's in the evening. I'll be giving a talk for the Oklahoma Humanities Council's Territory Speakers Program called Saving Prairie Dogs and Speaking Pawnee. Sorry folks, I didn't give it the title. But anyway, it's about comparing the endangerment of species, biological species like plants and animals, with the endangerment of languages, and illustrates how it's a much more serious situation with the languages. I may also give a talk the following day at one of the branch libraries on greetings in Oklahoma Indian languages, which would be similar to a Wordpath show that we did on that topic once. That's still to be arranged, but that may be taking place on Friday in Tulsa at one of the libraries. Now, another item I wanted to mention, just sort of a general interest item and something coming up soon, is something called Mother Language Day, or International Mother Language Day, I guess is the full name of it. This is going to be on February the 21st. This is an annual event which UNESCO started in the year 2000, so that makes this coming one the 4th annual, I guess. UNESCO, of course, is the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization, I believe. They do a lot of cultural work internationally. And at some point, some committee, I guess, that they had sent up thought it would be good to have an annual International Mother Language Day. So this isn't something just that just relates to indigenous languages or Oklahoma Indian languages. It's a day to be proud of your mother language, whatever it might be, and I guess especially those that are endangered or that are minority languages. So if you'd like to find out more about this, we have a website address here, which is on the World Wide Web, www.unesco.org/IMLD. That's International Mother Language Day. So I don't know exactly, I haven't heard of any specific events that'll be happening in Oklahoma yet. We at the Wordpath Society were thinking it'd be a nice time to do something. We may have a benefit powwow around that time, but that's still in the planning stages. We're not sure. I think it might be a nice time for Indian people and perhaps Hispanic people in Oklahoma, the other larger ethnic minority that has language issues, I suppose, to maybe do something together. I'd like to see parades or programs or discussions or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but I thought I'd just throw this out there. So keep your eyes open in case there is some programming coming up, or if you have ideas for something that the Wordpath Society could help with, please get in touch with us at the number at the end of the show, and we'll help in any way we can. So that's Mother Language Day. Next thing I want to mention is something that I already mentioned on the last show, but just as a reminder, there is a new listserv, which is a kind of electronic networking device where you sign on or subscribe to a listserv, and then you can post messages and other people can post messages, and all the posted messages are distributed to everyone on the list by way of email. This listserv is called Talk Indian Oklahoma, and its address we have here too, Talk Indian OK. This is the address to subscribe to the list, talkindianok-subscribe at yahoogroups.com. If you send an email, it doesn't have to have anything inside. If it just has -subscribe in the address, that will, and you send that to that address, that will automatically enroll you as a member of the listserv, and you can start getting announcements or participating in discussion on the list or just listening in, whatever you choose to do. Might prove useful to some of you who are interested in these kind of topics. Now, one last item I wanted to talk about for just the few minutes that we have left, I think we have about 4 minutes left or something, is something that, another project of the Wordpath Society. We've talked about this at several of our recent monthly meetings, and it's still in the planning stages, but gradually taking shape. We've given it the title, as a working title anyway, of Community Language Initiative. And what that's all about is that, well, let's see. When it comes to language preservation or revival, learning, teaching, all of that stuff that the Wordpath Society is interested in, and that people with, whose tribes are losing their languages of heritage are interested in, there's various kinds of expertise you can bring to that. Number one, of course, is the native speaker fluency, that kind of expertise. You've got to have that or you'll never get anywhere. Another kind of expertise is a linguistic analysis. Usually that's useful in figuring out how to set up classes or make classroom materials or devise alphabets. At various stages that can be useful. But there's a whole other aspect which this kind of addresses, and that is, if you put on a great language program, will people come? And if they don't, why don't they come? And what can we do about that? It's been our experience in our over 5 years working on language projects in the state, and also hearing from other people who are working on projects in their own communities, that all too often someone will put on a terrific class with a fluent speaker, great analysis, good materials, everything's set up. People say, yeah, that's what we want, let's do it. The first night, maybe you have 30 people in the class. Pretty soon everybody drops out. Or almost everybody, sometimes literally everybody. I've been in several classes that kind of fizzled out after a while. And it's not that people are not interested, so what is it? So that's what the Community Language Initiative would address. How can you energize people, give them more hope, more energy, encourage them to make the language work more of a priority, not just to believe in the language, but to actually do something about it. And everybody can do something. As a native speaker, they can teach. As someone who doesn't speak it, but is preferably as young a person as possible, they can learn and be part of passing it on. As someone who's in the in-between generation, or for one reason or another isn't in one of those two groups, they can always be of assistance as support, give people rides, provide meals, write grant proposals, whatever. Everybody can help in some way, but most people don't help at all. That's a blunt statement, but that's the truth. Most people in most Indian communities in the state do absolutely nothing about language. Most people do care, I'm convinced that they do, but most people don't actually do anything. So we're devising some ideas, and please, if you have other ideas to add, please let us know, or if you have any feedback on these ideas. Part of it is that we'd like to do a series of posters to kind of popularize the idea, the way they do with so many issues these days. Try to just be a reminder, say to people, hey, you know, save your language. It's good if you do. We'll have a better text than that, and we'll have maybe some nice artwork with it. But that's one line, is we want to do some kind of publicity like that along the lines of posters, perhaps tailored to each community around the state. Another approach is to do what are called PSAs, or public service announcements, on the public airwaves. That's probably going to be like a 30-second video of something to encourage people to do something with their language. And by the way, if any of you are artists and would like to help with the posters, or if you are actors or aspiring actors and might like to be in one of these PSAs, please get in touch with us too. Another tack we're taking is to develop a series of brochures. We're working on several right now. One is just completed but not quite ready to put in your hands yet, but the content is completed, and that'll be called What is Fluency? It's so important for people to have a good, clear idea of what it means to be fluent or not fluent, because you need fluent speakers as teachers. You need to have, if you're a learner, you need to make sure you attach yourself in some way to a fluent speaker, if not in a class, perhaps as an apprentice, or in some kind of group activity or something. So we need to be able to define what's fluent. How can you define who is and isn't fluent? Are there degrees of it? Sometimes people get a little petty and they get their feelings hurt. You know, my mom doesn't say it that way. I think she speaks better than your mom does. You know, it's a shame when people kind of get down to that. But I think a lot of times people aren't quite clear on what fluency means. So we have a brochure we've just written about that. There'll be another one called Why Study Your Tribal Language, which will include a lot of quotations to try to inspire people. Quotations from Indian people who say why their languages are important. Another brochure on master-apprentice language learning, which we've discussed many times on the program. There isn't time to get into it more right now, but it's one method of becoming very fluent in just a matter of 2 or 3 years. And there'll be lots of other brochures, but those are the first ones that we hope to get out, and that's part of our community language initiative too. So if you have any ideas to add to this, please let us know. And I think that's all we have time for tonight. So with that, I'll say good night. See you next time on Wordpath. I'm Alice Anderton, host of Wordpath. We feature the 24 languages spoken by Oklahoma Indian tribes.
Goigu hagiat all day no. Bai hang dome.
Edi ambahata te de juigi de kambla. Hey, ma de la tit non de wakis na kangio.
Ise kwasu. Ise tuka nai te kwasu.
Join us for more Golden Oldies, Monday and Wednesday evenings.
Ahene yo hene, ahene yo hene, anama gwara kita, wa pene madaoni kita. Ahene yo hene, anama gwara kita, wa pene madaoni kita. Ahene yo hene, anama gwara kita, wa pene madaoni kita. Ahene yo hene, anama gwara kita, wa pene madaoni kita.